Welcome to the Edge. We have 5 new candidates for office in the what is that? The Charter Review Board, right?
That's
the
right.
Charter. All this conversation we've had so far, and it slipped right out. You know, that's age. In any event, we've got Virginia Meketon Hoffman, or the other way around, Hoffman-Meketon.
Virginia Hoffman-Meketon.
Thank you for correcting, because that's going to be on the ballot in District 2.
Yes.
And Ryan Stanley.
Correct.
And you're in?
District 1.
District 1. Jamie Wilson.
Jamie Iliff Wilson, District 4.
Jamie Iliff Wilson. That's all 3 names are going to be in there.
That is correct.
Brian Worthington.
District 3.
District 3.
Ray Porter, District 5.
District 5. Okay. Can you, starting with Ray, give me your brief bio?
Sure. I've lived in the community since about 1980.
The community being?
Sarasota.
Okay. And what area of Sarasota?
I've moved around a little bit, mostly up in, right now we're in Gulf Gate East, my family and I. I've been a 20-year practicing journalist. I was with the Bradenton Herald, the Venice Gondolier, Inglewood Times, and the Suncoast Media Group. Currently, I'm the communications director with the Sarasota Association of Realtors. Have a wife and three lovely boys, or a lovely wife and 3 boys.
Okay. And Virginia, what's your situation?
I'm Virginia Hoffman-Meketon, and I have lived in Sarasota most of my life. I moved here in 1967, 42 years ago, and I've grown up here and gone to school here. I'm a graduate of the Ringling School of Art, and I have owned and successfully run a small business in Sarasota County for 30 years.
Thank you, Virginia. Brian?
My name is Brian Worthington. I'm the candidate for District 3 Charter Review Board. I moved here to Sarasota in 1979, right after I graduated college. I worked briefly for a theater company as a manager.
Which was?
AMC Theaters. When it used to be called the Sarasota Square 6. That's how long ago it was.
Wow.
After that, I worked at the Sarasota County Humane Society. I worked there for 4 years as the Sarasota County Animal Cruelty Investigator. That was a very interesting job. And most recently, I've worked 10 years supporting, working in the tax and audit software companies.
Thank you, Brian. Ryan?
My name is Ryan Stanley, and I am a 20-plus resident of Sarasota County. I went to elementary, middle, and high school in Sarasota. I'm a graduate of MCC and also a graduate of New College.
And Jamie?
My name is Jamie Iliff Wilson. I'm running for Charter Review Board's District 4. I moved to Sarasota approximately 12 years ago from Ohio originally. I spent a little time briefly in Punta Gorda with my grandparents prior to moving to Sarasota. I have a background in college with MCC and ECC.
What's the last one?
Edison Community College in Punta Gorda. And I am presently looking to go back to college to finish my AA in political science.
Well, we're going to discuss some things, what you guys are all about in terms of the Charter Review Board, which is, I think, often misunderstood. And in the charter, there's a couple of provisions on one on page 13, which kind of contradict one another on the surface. The powers of the Board of County Commission. All powers of the county are hereby vested in the Board of County Commissioners. The Board of County Commissioners may prescribe by ordinance or resolution the manner in which such powers shall be exercised. However, on 3.6 on page 14 of the Charter Review bulletin or pamphlet that you can pick up at the Supervisor Elections Office and other government offices, the powers granted by the Charter shall be construed liberally in favor of the chartered government. The specific powers of this Charter shall not be construed as limiting in any way the general or specific powers of the government as stated in this article. It is the intent of this article to grant to the charter government full power and authority to exercise all government powers necessary for the effective operation and conduct of the affairs of the charter government. Now, Kathy Layton, who's the current chair of the Charter Review Board, has said in so many words that the Charter Review Board is pointless. And we've had a recent controversy with some amendments which we'll discuss after this part about home rule and the purpose of it and the need for it and or not. We'll go into that. But I think it's important when you have someone running for office who, by the way, was recommended to be voted in again by the Herald Tribune. So I'd like to come to you, Jamie, with this thing. What do you feel about this?
Certainly. I feel it is contradictory. I think it should be possibly presented to the people again in the future regarding them having
What should be?
the opportunity to save our, well, are you referring to the amendments?
What I'm referring to is the difference in the meaning of powers between the county commission and the charter review
And
board.
Kathy Lakeman's
and Kathy
take on that?
Lakeman's statement about the board itself.
Well, her making the statement that the board should be appointed instead of elected, I feel that takes away from the power of the people.
How does that do that?
Instead of presenting an election to the people of Sarasota County, the Board of County Commissioners would possibly do the electing of the Charter Review Board. In addition, she made a statement that the Charter Review Board should meet once every 5 years to review and discuss amendments or referendum, which doesn't present an opportunity to the people to propose amendments or referendum.
Let me shift to Brian. How would the people be served better in this situation? If it's in 5 years, you know, what the heck?
Excuse me. Well, first of all, I was at that meeting in April 2006 when Chair Layton recommended that they disband
Is
as
it
an
Cheryl
elected
Layton, not Kathy?
Chair. Well, Chair Kathy Layton.
Oh, Chair. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
When she recommended that they disband as an elected board,
And she was appointed by Jeb Bush.
She was
correct?
appointed by Jeb Bush and elected twice since then. But she seemed to think that the Charter Review Board's work was done, that it was nipped and tucked, and it was pretty much a done deal.
Mm-hmm.
And one of her comments was, "What have we done in the past few years that's made a difference?" I can think of a lot of things that could have been done, but she believed that they just should have been an appointed position from that point out. She actually had to step down as chair for the moment to make this recommendation, which to me makes her an activist on the board, which is what they don't like to see on there. And I believe it was 8 out of 10 people that were in attendance that night voted no, that they did not think that it was right to take the position of that board away from the electorate and into the hands of the county commissioners.
Right.
Absolutely. Brian and Jamie are both correct. And I think it's just symptomatic of what's going on. The county commission for years, ever since the early 80s, has been in a sort of adversarial role against the Charter Review Board, and that really doesn't need to happen. The Charter Review Board, the intent of that board is basically to be a conduit for the public, to allow the public to come forward, present proposals, and then they're vetted, they're brought to the county commission, and then brought back to the full electorate. So in the early 80s, there was a board that was a little bit reactionary. They were trying to change things by themselves. They were trying to become their own county commission. In 1984, they put together 2 amendments that would control growth, and the county commission basically told their constituents not to vote for these amendments. They passed anyway. Then the county commission put an amendment for the voters, which was passed, that allowed the Charter Review Board to meet once every 4 years. Once that was passed, the Charter Review Board people on the board at that time, Sam Wadhams was the leader of that group. They filed suit, and their ability to meet as often as they wanted to was restored.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.